Was Mocha and Billy tattoo? Okay, so we're just walking through.
I was born in 1822. I was a conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years. And I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passage. They call me Moses for leading my people from the south to the north to freedom. If you hear the dogs barking, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, well, keep going. If they're shouting behind you, keep going. Don't ever stop, keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going. I had crossed the line to which I had so long dreamed of. I was free.
Good morning, Sankofa. Today is Friday, September the 4th, 2020, and that is Ancestor Harriet Tubman. Ashe. Hotep to the servant leader scholars of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School.
Hotep, Dr. Maya.
And now it's time for the magic question.
And Kofa.
How you feeling? Fantastic, terrific, great, all day long, bum bum bum, all day long, bum bum. Whoa. It is now time for the morning libation. I would like to ask that you all please stand. Please stand firm in a strong Angalia. We would like to ask for permission from an elder to begin. Permission has been granted in advance. We will now begin our libations. First, we pour libations to the gift of life, love, and learning, and we say Ashe. We pour libations to our ancestors who marched out of Africa, who migrated out of Africa, Ashe, and gifted humanity with the world, Ashe, gifted humanity with deep thought, Ashe. Pour libations to those Africans who founded the world's first civilizations, Ashe. We pour libations to the mighty nations of Africa, the kingdoms, the empires of Africa, and we say Ashe. We pour libations to Kemet, Ashe. We pour libations to Kush, the mother of Kemet, Ashe. We pour libations to Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. We pour libations to Canaan, Bornu, Ashe. We pour libations to the Congo, to Chad, to Namibia, to Lesotho, to South Africa. We pour libations and we say Ashe. We pour libations to Kenya. We pour libations to Tanzania, Ashe. We pour libations to the Central African Republic, to Mali, to Nigeria. We pour libations to the Yoruba, the Igbo. We pour libations to the Akan, the Twi. We pour libations to those nations named and unnamed. Ashe, Ashe. We give libations to Ivan Van Sertima, author of They Came Before Columbus, the African Presence in Ancient America. Ashe. He documents that Africans had traveled the oceans to the New World before Columbus. Even Columbus himself said that black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats trading in gold-tipped spears. We give libations to those African ocean travelers, Ashe, and even in indigenous American art, we can see Africans. We give libations to those Africans, Ashe. We give libations to Abu Bakari, who nearly 200 years before Columbus traveled to the New World, Ashe. To Amilcar Cabral, born 1924, died 1973. Founder of the PAIGC political party, which led to the freedom of his country. To Amilcar Cabral, we pour libations and we say Ashe. De Lolinda Rodriguez Francisco de Almeida, also called Langadila and Mother of the Revolution. She was born February 10, 1939, and was executed March 2, 1967. She was an Angolan nationalist, militant writer, and translator. She taught, wrote poetry, and was a radio host. Letters have been preserved when she was a 20-year-old of her communications with Dr. Martin Luther King. He told her, "Freedom is never achieved without suffering and sacrifice." She was a member of the MPLA, or the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, which would eventually win the nation's independence. Augustina Neto, who led the country to independence, was her cousin. While supporting the MPLA, she co-founded the OMA, or the Organization for Angolan Women, which still exists today. It was the women's division of the MPLA. Her writings detail resistance to Portugal and the difficulties she faced as a woman in leadership. While supporting the military fighting for her nation's freedom, she was captured, imprisoned, and dismembered alive on March the 2nd, 1967, with 4 of her women comrades. She is honored in Angola as the Mother of the Revolution today. She was only 28 years old at the time of her death. The date of March 2nd continues to be celebrated today in Angola as Women's Day. In 2003, her diary was published. In 2004, her letters of communication were published. In 2014, the documentary film based on her life was released. It was filmed in Brazil, Mozambique, and of course Angola. It featured close friends, associates, and comrades who knew her. Long live Deolinda Almeida. Long live Mother of the Revolution. We pour libations to our ancestors who survived in the dungeons of West Africa. We pour libations to those ancestors who sacrificed, suffered, and died in the torturous, treacherous journey of the Middle Passage. And we say Ashe to those ancestors who mutinied on ships, rerouted, sank ships, and burned ships. We pour libations and we say Ashe. Born approximately 1545, Gaspar Yanga, the African of Mexico. He escaped from slavery with 500 African Maroons. They escaped to the mountains of Veracruz, where they founded a city, San Lorenzo de los Negros. And Gaspar Yanga maintained this community. It was eventually renamed after him. To Gaspar Yanga, we pour libations and we say Ashe. To our ancestor, Mary Prince, abolitionist, born into slavery in Bermuda in 1788. She would escape slavery while in Britain and write the history of Mary Prince. She would go on to spark dissent and outrage against slavery throughout the world. To Mary Prince, we give libations and we say Ashe. We pour affirmation to the leadership of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School. We pour affirmation to Mama Tony Lower School, Sister Marika Middle School, and to our upper school coordinator, Sister Tamika. We pour affirmation and we give appreciation for her leadership to Brother Issa Clark, our COO and co-founder. We pour affirmation and we give appreciation for his leadership. And to our elder, our mentor and teacher, Dr. Mama Aisha E. Mani, founder of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School and executive director of Imhotep Institute Charter High School, activist, educator, teacher among teacher, educational leader among educational leaders. We pour affirmation to Dr. Mama Aisha E. Mani. Ashe. And we give an affirmation and appreciation for all of the Sankofa family, the teachers, assistants, the coaches, the security, to all of the staff, to parents, and to students. We give affirmation and we say, Ashe. We ask that you accept this libation with all good intention, Ashe. We ask that it is not offensive, Ashe. We ask that this libation is understood as an educational and cultural practice of African-centered schools, Ashe, and of African people throughout the world, Ashe. Go forth and march in the footsteps of our mighty ancestors, Ashe. And we ask that the children, that the unborn, walk in your footsteps one day. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And now it's time for announcements and recognitions. The principle of the month is Heshima, and Heshima means respect. And Sister Walker would like to give a recognition and a shout out to Rayana Murphy and Alea Brooks for scholarship and excellent work with participation. Keep up the good work. Students, make sure you follow the Zoom expectations for cyber classes. Make sure you sign in with your first and last name at all times. Make sure you sit up properly and make sure that your camera is always on unless otherwise directed by your teachers, and always be in uniform and dressed appropriately. Thank you.
We are the servant leaders and intellectual warriors
of Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School.
We shall always remember the sacrifices of our ancestors.
Those who were taken from their land and those whose land was taken from them.
Because we stand on the shoulders of the mighty people,
We shall build mighty shoulders for others to stand.
We pledge to develop good habits of the mind, body, and spirit.
We pledge to continue the legacy of the freedom fighters before us.
We understand that we exist because others have made it possible for us.
Because others have made it possible for us, we will make it possible for others.
every day and everywhere.
We shall learn so that we can teach, and we shall teach so that we can change the world.
We are
Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School,
Working to restore excellence in scholarship,
culture, and community.
One heart,
One love,
one earth.
One people,
Harambe.
And now it is time for the moment of silence. The moment of silence is used to reflect on the day. The moment of silence begins now. Ashe. Stay focused, stay determined, and continue to live life with purpose.